All right, guys, I do have a Tuesday morning editorial for you. The bird I still have. The bird's out in the living room. She can yak and fly out there. I got tired of her yak, 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 yak. But so I do still have the bird. If you don't like my background, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. This is my studio, so to speak. I'm going to put 3 links in the description box below. I'm going to give you an editorial here. You're not really going to like it. You're going to hate this editorial, but maybe, I don't know. Another dirty cop. And this dirty cop has a relation, so to speak, with one of our own cop watchers. I'll get back to that. But in the links below, the first one is the Eric Garner case. The Justice Department is not going to pursue their case against the NYPD officer that put a chokehold on Eric Garner, saying that it could have been health reasons and not the chokehold that killed him. Although, didn't the officer violate departmental policy by applying that chokehold? Which his lawyers are saying, well, it was a seat belt. It wasn't a chokehold. I guess there's a maneuver called the seat belt. I never heard that. Was that? I don't know. Some of you wrestlers tell us what that is. But I guess he's free now and he can go and be a cop again, right? Maybe somewhere else, maybe in Syracuse. He can go arrest a raccoon. But that's the link. And then the link below that is the one from South Bend, Indiana, where the police officer members shot the unarmed black man who was breaking into vehicles, allegedly. And they had Pete Buttigieg, who's a presidential candidate. That is in the story below. There's an update on that one. I put the link down there so that you guys can go and look at that one. It's upsetting, and the family is not happy about that. Somebody criticized also, excuse me, my editorial, saying that Buttigieg did what he could, or he was more passionate about it than we made light of. I don't know. But that story's down below as well. I saw that. I thought I'd throw it there for you since it's an update to that story. If any of you are from South Bend or any of you from Indiana or Indianapolis and you want to know about that, there you go. You can go read that as well. Whew. That's a lot, isn't it, in 2.5 minutes? So the editorial, if you're still watching, come on, guys. Come back to me. Don't go to the light. The editorial comes out of Denver, Colorado. That's right, Denver, Colorado. And this officer who had a interaction with our own lovely Eric Brandt, FTP Day, or FTC Day, right? It's FTC Day. So Denver's branch of the FBI is investigating a former Westminster police officer accused of raping a woman next to his squad car after he promised to drive her home from a local hospital. Officer Curtis Arganbright pled guilty last year to 2 misdemeanor charges, unlawful sexual contact and official misconduct, in connection to the 2017 crime, and was sentenced to 90 days in jail and 4 years of probation. Now, Curtis Arganbright apparently is the same officer that arrested Eric Brandt for chalking. Remember that? He was chalking and he got arrested. That was the officer, Curtis Arganbright. Now, this officer is being arrested. Wow. Or he got 90 days in jail. But now, federal authorities are investigating whether Arganbright violated a federal civil rights statute. A search warrant application filed in the U.S. District Court of Colorado shows FBI Special Agent Donald Peterson said, quote, there is probable cause to believe that Curtis Lee Arganbright willfully deprived the victim on her constitutional right to bodily integrity. And he wrote in the application, which was first found in federal court records by a researcher at George Washington University and provided to the Denver Post. That's where this editorial comes from. Thank you to the Denver Post for this editorial. The FBI wanted access to the handcuffs, clothes, and gun confiscated from Arganbright's patrol vehicle and work locker shortly after the assault on August 24, 2017. The FBI received the evidence in the case in April, But the agency wanted express permission from a judge to search the items because Arganbright's attorneys opposed the searches during a June 27th court hearing. And that, I guess that was last year. The night of the assault, the woman checked herself into St. Anthony North Health for treatment for severe alcohol intoxication and alcoholism. While she was there, hospital staff caught her stealing medical supplies. They reported the theft to Westminster Police Department, which sent Arganbright to the hospital to give the woman a ride home. Supposed to take her home. She was not under arrest, according to the FBI search warrant application. The woman, who is not identified because she's a victim by name in the document, told investigators that Arganbright then patted her down and touched her genital area over her clothes. They both got in the patrol car, and the woman gave him directions to her home. But before they arrived at the house, Arganbright pulled off the main road and parked in his car in the area near West 144th Avenue and Zuni Street without homes or businesses. There's also, looks like there's a lake there. He ordered the woman out of the car and handcuffed her before raping her, the woman told investigators. He also forced her to give him oral sex, she said. After he finished, he drove the woman to her mother's home where she was staying and told her never to tell anybody about the assault. Why didn't she? Here's why. The woman told investigators she did not run or resist because Arganbright was physically imposing. Yeah, he's a big dude. Carried a gun. He's a cop. And had the power and opportunity to inflict even greater harm, according to the document. Not only that, she probably didn't have a camera or a phone on her to record the interaction, and he could say anything he wanted. Well, she was trying to escape. She was trying to get away. I had to tackle her. I had to punch her in the head. He could say anything he wants at this point. It's him and her. Whose word are they going to believe? The cop. Every time. Every time the cop's word. That's right. Unless you can show evidence of, good luck with that, or record the incident. I'm going to say it again. Record the incident. Always, always, always record the police. I know there are law enforcement officers and law enforcement officer supporters that don't like hearing me say that. Tough titty, said the kitty, and turned to the saucer of milk. Always record the police. Always. 100%. I don't care if they tell you you can't. You say, I can. It's my constitutional right. It's my right. And in California, it's Article 1, Section 2. Article 1, Section 2 of the California Constitution says you have the right to free speech and free press. So going on, the 17th Judicial District Attorney's Office charged Arganbright with felony counts of sexual assault by force and sexual assault through position of authority. But the woman would not testify in court, and Arganbright pleaded guilty to lesser charges in October 2018. Arganbright previously worked for the Federal Heights Police Department. A spokeswoman for the FBI's Denver field office did not return a call or email requesting comment on the investigation. Of course they didn't. It's an open investigation. However, some people may say, well, it's his word against hers. How do we know she wasn't lying? Because he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. In my mind, that's guilt. If he wasn't guilty, he should have just said, no, I'm not guilty. No, I'm pleading not guilty, or no contest. I'm not pleading. He pled guilty to a lesser charge. Why? Because he was freaking guilty. I don't want to hear this thing about, he was afraid and his attorney told him to take the plea deal, and he took the plea deal. He wanted, the 90 days in jail. It was a good offer. I don't want to hear all that. He pled guilty. He's guilty. He was convicted. He spent 90 days in jail. And now the federal authorities are going to get him for a civil rights violation, Fourth Amendment. Always record the police. This is News Now Ukaipa, letting you guys know what's going on across your nation with law enforcement and everybody else. There are 3 stories in the description box below. If you care to read them, go check them out. And always remember, I'm here for you guys.